Chief Justice Mary Fairhurst was first elected in 2002. She began serving on the Washington State Supreme Court in 2003. In 2016, her colleagues elected her Chief Justice. As Chief Justice, she's the court's chief spokesperson. She presides over the Supreme Court hearings and conferences and co-chairs the state's Board for Judicial Administration. Chief Justice Fairhurst is part of our Olympia family, and she will share her Olympia testimony. Welcome.
Well, good morning. You have to excuse my voice. It's different every day. I was in the hospital for about 9 days, 5 days ago, and something is going on pulmonarily with me. We don't quite have it figured out. I no longer have to be on oxygen, so I'm grateful for that, and I'm not lugging around a 10-pound can. But I will go a little more slowly in hopes that you will be able to understand me. First, I want to thank Cyrus and Hannah for their remarks. They were just beautiful and very touching. And I very much look forward to hearing from the keynote speaker, Emmanuel. So I will stick to my 5 minutes, which I have started on my stopwatch now. So those first 10 seconds were a gift. When Dwayne came to ask me to talk, it was after I had spoken at the joint session of the House and Senate and had given my State of the Judiciary, where you learned that my cancer had returned. So I want to tell you a little bit about my cancer story and about my faith and about the support that I'm receiving. In 2008, I went in to the hospital at Christmas time, so I wouldn't miss any work, to have a colon resectioning. And in that process, they found that I had stage 2 colon cancer, and they weren't sure if it had gone into my lymph or not. So there was a little asterisk kind of behind the 2. I have to tell you, there's a lot of cancer in my family. My mother died of metastasized breast cancer. My grandmother died of metastasized breast cancer. My dad's brother, at age 20, died of testicular cancer. I've had aunts and uncles die of pancreatic cancer, lung cancer, etc. I am the first to have colon cancer because it was found in me when I'm 61 now, so 53. My 6 younger brothers and sisters all were tested. 2 had stage 1, 2 had pre-colon, and 2 were clean. But for my cancer, they might not have found out for a number of years and been in my position. So I consider it a gift that I, as the oldest, was diagnosed first, and that hopefully my siblings will have longer, healthier lives because of that. I went to the doctor, knowing what was, of course, coming, and was told I would have 6 months of chemo, and that, chances are it would all be fine, but if it was going to come back, it would come back in 2 years. Almost 2 years to the day, it came back. And now it was stage 4 colon cancer because it had gone from my colon to my right inferior hilum. Very odd, hard spot. Just one spot, not like all through my lungs. 6 months of chemo and 6 weeks of radiation later, I am done. When the doctor first told me that it had metastasized, I said, so what's the prognosis? And they look at you. And I'm like, no, I'm the patient and I want to know. I'm asking you, what's the prognosis? He said, well, Mary, if you were unhealthy, you'd have about 6 months, healthy about 2 years. But people are alive 7 or 8 years later. I said, doctor, those are numbers for other people, right? Yeah. Based on averages in the past, right. I said, good, because I believe in miracles. Western medicine kind of scrunches up their face, but you believe what you believe. I go home to tell my family my dad died between my first cancer and my second cancer. My mom died in 1999, my dad died in 2010. So I'm telling my younger brothers and sisters that it's back. Of course, they all burst into tears. I said, you guys, I understand this is big news, but I believe in miracles. A family friend heard me say this and had these bracelets made that say believe in miracles. Started with 100 for the cord, 200 for the cord and for my own immediate kind of big family. And 3,000 bracelets later, people are wearing them all over the state and the world and believing in miracles. I went through my treatment, and at the end of the treatment, was checked every 6 months, every year. At 5 years out, my doctor, you know, the one with the scrunchy face, and I were looking at our results, and I said, boy, it looks pretty good. He said, yeah. I said, I think I got my miracle. I said, well, what would you call it? He said, no evidence of disease. To which I said, I would call that a miracle. And happily went on my way. Yay, everybody's celebrating, joint pose. And I was very surprised when going in to see my regular family doctor, time to go see my oncologist, that because I had a prescription that had to be refilled, and he said, gosh, Mary, I haven't seen you in a year, come in, and he ran the tests. And my, I think it's called carcinogenic CEA, whatever it stands for, it's your cancer markers. It's supposed to be less than 2.5 or less than 5, and mine was 49.5. Okay, we got trouble. And the trouble we have is that I now have cancer in my lungs, both upper and lower. I have cancer in my liver dome, and I have cancer in my right thyroid. I want you to know I still believe in miracles. This is going to be the mother of all miracles if I get it. And I expect people to be dancing on the streets and praying. I know there's my alarm, I must stop. But I will just go over a tiny bit with your permission. So I have begun chemo. I'm going today, in fact, this morning, as soon as we're done here, I'm headed over. I have chemo every 2 weeks for 3 days. So I'll have a little pump through Sunday afternoon. I receive cards and letters almost every day, and I love receiving them. People are praying for me. They're sending me positive thoughts. They're thinking about me. I received one yesterday from Oklahoma from a man I don't know who was very touched with heard one of the news things about a news flash, you know, we're all going to die. The question is, how are we going to live? But I want to read one. It'll take about a minute. Dear Honorable, came on January 17th. Dear Honorable Chief Justice Mary Fairhurst. Hello, Miss Chief Justice Fairhurst. You don't know me, but as I read the newspaper today, January 17th, I came across the article about you and reoccurring cancer. This touched my heart and kept pulling at my heartstrings until I sat down to write this letter to you. Before I begin with what my mind, heart, and soul is guiding me to say, I want you to know that you are a fighter, and God has plans for you on earth. This will too pass. Chief Justice Fairhurst says this would be a very scary time for anyone. You must have and hold firm to faith in the Almighty, the All-Wise. You will remain in each and every prayer that I make. I will name you and ask for your speedy and full recovery. I honestly feel in my heart true and genuine compassion for your situation. It saddens my soul as I read about this today. And I also know that you will 100% survive this. Honorable Fairhurst, you are right, miracles are real, and we should all believe in them. I do. I've read about you in recent months. Although I'm not a native of Washington State, I do feel if this is where I belong. As I learn about who Chief Justice Mary Fairhurst is, only through court rulings and opinions, I've been taught a lot, which changed my view of certain things. You are a fair justice, which I must say your last name suits the state Supreme Court perfectly. I agree, it was easy to run on it. In closing, I want you to know that I look up to you for the difference you have made and the fairness that you show to people. I know at times that top positions present difficult challenges and decisions to make, and you do it with honor and dignity. When I think of what my future goal will be once my miracle happens, I want to find a way to make a difference. I want to get fully involved with the law in the good way. I can and would be an amazing asset to the system of the great state of Washington. Honorable Fairhurst, you will be sincerely thought of and prayed for every day, and I will be paying attention to hear about that remission because it is in your future. God bless you. Kindest regards, Jerry G. Wood, Jr., sent to me from the Snohomish County Corrections. Booking number 1871747. Everyone is praying for me. I am praying for you. Every day I am praying for miracles for all the people I know that need them in so many ways, spiritually, mentally, physically. I thank you for your support and your love. I will continue working, and I will be your Chief Justice as long as I am able. God bless you, and thank you for coming this morning.